Welcome back, Trailblazers, to the Sunrise Signal, your only place where we've got coffee, we've got weather and news updates, and I am your host, Michael, and we are going to be kicking it through June 9th and June 15th. We're also going to have a special Father's Day shout out, so stay tuned till the end so that you dads and you offspring of dads maybe can get a little inspiration about this week. All right, here's going to be your weather update, and it's going to be done by region. So again, this is, to help you if you're planning a trip and you live in a place that you're watching the local weather, but you may be going 3 states away. You're going to need those. So this is where you get that information. We're going to start in the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be your Washington, Oregon areas. So we've got a sunny start to the week with highs in the low 80s. Great weather for those Cascade back roads, but clouds and showers return for the weekend. If you're planning on mountaintop camp, then make sure that you're layering up and then also have those rain flies, because it can always rain. We're going to go down to the Rockies and the Western Plains. That's going to be your Colorado, Utah, and Montana area. We've got hot and dry early in the week, highs in the near 90s. That's going to be in Denver and Moab. And then we've got thunderstorms by midweek. Classic mountain drama. We've got flash flood risk on the unmaintained trails. Be smart and reroute if needed. Keep that in mind. Then we're going to travel over to the southwest. We've got Arizona, New Mexico, and West Texas in this area. Brutal heat incoming, temps in the hundreds, and then minimal rain, high wildfire danger, avoid open flames unless permitted, and prep for your cooking systems. So if it's not something that you can do like a campfire, make sure you got alternate sources for making your food. All right, Southern Plains. Southern Plains is going to be Oklahoma, North Texas, and Kansas. Storms roll in midweek with hail and wind risks. Weekend clears up for those quick weekend escapes. The ground's wet, so watch for soft trails in sections. This area is, that's an understatement. I live in Oklahoma, and this area has been hit all week with rain. We've gotten, I think, more rain so far in Oklahoma than they usually receive in Florida. Just to give you an idea, storms are going to be crazy. They've been crazy. In fact, Sunday night, the 8th, whenever I actually record this on the 8th so that it can be to you guys first thing in the morning on Monday, we're going to have severe storms tonight. Again, for the 8th, this is going to be a day after, but that's just my own personal stuff. Okay, so that's the Southern Plains. Down into the East Coast. So the East Coast, we're going to be the Appalachians and the New England area. Beautiful stretch in the mid-70s with light showers on Tuesday. Excellent time to hit the Blue Ridge Parkway or head into the Adirondacks. Sounds great there. So keep going there. Canada, we've got Alberta, British Columbia, and Ontario, because those are really kind of the places that overlanders usually go to. So let's see. Warm start across Alberta and BC with wildfire smoke. The wildfire smoke is thick in the air. Air quality alerts in Calgary, Edmonton, and parts of Ontario. Mask up, especially with kids or if you've got respiratory concerns. It has been a mess for fires up there, so just keep that in mind. Alaska, never going to forget about you. Some of my favorite memories are in Alaska. Spent 2 years there, just got back, have a whole video coming out about that, actually. So Alaska, we're going to be south central in the Kenai area. Cool and damp early week with scattered showers. Gradually clearing up by Thursday. Temps inch towards the 60s. Oh, that sounds nice. Prime time for the coastal trail exploring. Yes, go do it. That weather sounds amazing. Today I woke up and it's already in the 90s by my windshield. Yuck. And it's morning. All right, in this section, we're going to cover the trail and camping access. This isn't going to be for everywhere. This is just mainly the big highlights for the week moving forward, some closures, different things like that. So let's run into that. We've got Camp Bird Road in Colorado, closed for maintenance. It says reroute via the $1 Million Highway if headed toward Ouray. So if you're doing that, then yeah, you need to make other plans. Alabama Hills in California closed June 11th through the 15th for the Concert in the Rocks. Free permits still needed for the designated camping outside of that. So I guess you need to get a free permit. You have to have a permit to go do it, even though it's free. I guess they try to keep track, or maybe they limit access. I don't know. The BLM in Utah and Nevada. Let's see. What does it say? Several closures lifted, but falcon nesting zones remain off limits. So make sure that you check local apps before you go. So yeah, we don't want to disturb the natural wildlife and all that kind of stuff. They're probably having, let's see, what is it? It's the nesting. So we don't want to mess that up. We want little baby falcons flying around. Those things are cool. And then in the Canadian parks, permit season is in full swing. Random backcountry camping in Banff and Jasper requires advance registration. Huh. Okay, random backcountry camping. So I guess not designated spots, but you still have to have a permit. Interesting. All right, so that's trail and access. All right, now on to the fire warnings and wildfire alerts. West Coast, fire risk climbing fast. Oregon and North California forests are already showing early season stress. No campfires unless permitted. Carry water and know your exit routes. You need to know how to get out of there, because if there's a fire, we saw that earlier with all those fires in LA, how quickly they spread because the hills and the wind and all that. So be aware. The Rocky Plains, we've got moderate fire danger, so be alert after lightning storms. Those things can get crazy. Canada, we've got 300 plus active wildfires. That is insane. And evacuations in parts of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. I always say words wrong. So smoke drifting as far as New England. That's where we're talking about masks if you have any respiratory issues. Alaska, we've got fire season has been declared. Burn permits required statewide. So keep that in mind. Any kind of spark could cause a fire. So, wow. That's pretty rough. We are going to move into this next section, which is Overland news. So we all know the Overland Expo ended not too long ago. There was 400 plus exhibitors, huge crowds, and some major gear drops. Overlanding Expos in the Pacific Northwest lands June 27th through the 29th, and that's going to be in Redmond, Oregon. So make sure you get your tickets. I think there's still some available, so go there and get your tickets. It should be a good event. There's rumors that Lee and his daughter may be there too. So if you see them, make sure you say hi. Let's see, BC Highway update. Alaska Highway near Summit Lake has intermittent closing due to a fire. So monitor all of those alerts to make sure that everything's clear. You don't want to run into a fire danger. We've got a BLM policy shift. I need to look into this a little bit more, because it says trail access rules are changing fast. New signage in Moab and Eastern Sierra. Don't assume that your 2003 GPX files are up to date. Make sure you're updating those, because things change all the time. In fact, I think you should update those pretty much before any kind of big trip, because things can change that quickly. All right, Father's Day. This one's for the dads that taught us how to check our tire pressure with our thumb, that were able to pack a cooler like tighter than NASA can pack cargo areas on the space shuttle. You know what I'm talking about. So whether our dads were the ones that led our first ever convoy out into overlanding, or we've got gear that's been passed down from them, dads are super important. So honor them. If they're going camping with you this week, let them pick the trail that you're going to go on. Let them pick the dinner for Father's Day. And then if they're not able to go on that trail, make sure you give them a call, maybe get some kind of memorabilia from the trail and say, here's your rock since you weren't able to go with us. I know that we always enjoy having rocks given to us from our kids because kids seem to carry rocks everywhere they go. So, it's where we've got most of our overland wisdom. I mean, I know that we make these videos and we talk about all the things that we suggest that you do, but when it comes down to it, half of that stuff is stuff that our fathers passed down to us, and we're just continuing to pass that down to the next generation. So, fathers, thank you so much for everything that you do. I appreciate it. My dad's pretty awesome. I went camping a lot whenever I was little. We'd go to the lakes. So it really gave me this sense of love for the outdoors, and I appreciate that, especially continuing to do what I do now. He's always excited to hear about my trips, and he is more excited about the gear that I buy than I am at sometimes. So thank you, fathers. Happy Father's Day. All right, so that wraps up this week's The Sunrise Signal. So make sure that you stay ahead of the weather, you're fire aware, and then make sure you say Happy Father's Day to your dad. Give him a call, or even better yet, make him a cup of coffee at camp. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. This is your weekly report for fire, news, weather, and everything for North America. All of North America, covering Canada and Alaska. Your only stop that gets you all the news that you need for your week. So, until next week, keep your tires aired down and your spirits aired up. Thank you guys. Have yourself a great week. This is Michael from the Sunrise Signal.